I'm often asked the question, am I a good candidate for debt settlement? For many years as a certified debt specialist, I found that in general, if you can comfortably pay back your debts on your own by paying more than the minimum payment every month without hardship, you should continue to do so. It may not impact your credit score, and it may be relatively trouble-free. But if you owe over $10,000 in unsecured debt and you're having a financial hardship, maybe you've lost your job, your income has been cut, you're already delinquent on your payments, or maybe you've gone through a divorce, have a medical illness or medical expenses, and don't want to or can't file bankruptcy, then debt settlement from a trusted and time-tested organization is usually the best option. If your total unsecured debt balances are less than $10,000, consumer credit counseling is an option. Your payments can be consolidated into just one, and typically interest rates are reduced on your accounts. However, many credit card counseling programs have a very high dropout rate, can last up to 5 to 7 years, and you end up paying back 100% of the debt you owe, plus any new interest. Again, that's why so many find that debt settlement is usually the best option. I'm often asked the question, what is debt settlement and how does it work? Debt settlement, also referred to as debt negotiation, means that your debt is negotiated down to a reduced amount and your account is settled in full. Historically, settlement amounts within 40 to 60% of your outstanding balances are realistic. For example, if your debt is settled for 40%, that means your $20,000 in total unsecured debt is settled for about $8,000. Debt settlement is one of the most effective debt options available to consumers. It's a great choice if you have more debt than you can pay off and you're experiencing a financial hardship that has you falling behind or just about to fall behind on your monthly payments. Why would your credit card company, commonly referred to as a creditor, choose to settle debts rather than continue to charge you interest and late fees month after month? Well, it's really a matter of dollars and good sense. Creditors know that if you get into a bad financial situation and you can't make your monthly payments, you may decide to declare bankruptcy. And in this case, they may get nothing. Therefore, given your hardship, rather than risk getting nothing, the creditor is usually very willing to settle for a lower amount. Once you enroll in a debt settlement program, the first priority is to effectively minimize creditors' phone calls. Your total unsecured debt amount is reduced while providing just one low monthly program payment. Your monthly payment amount is often as low as half your current combined monthly payments to the same creditors. I'm often asked, where can I find a trusted debt settlement firm? With the huge rise in unemployment, unmanageable debt, economic problems, and uncertainty in the marketplace, many fly-by-night companies that are not legitimate have sprouted up offering debt settlement to consumers. Some offer unrealistic expectations or promise nearly impossible monthly payments and time horizons. They are simply doing this to make a quick buck at your expense. A good debt settlement firm always trains its agents to help you understand what your options are and is very realistic with you about what to expect. Often companies simply looking to scam you look to collect fees up front regardless of whether they stand behind their promises. Be very careful. Many firms advertising an offer for debt settlement services are nothing more than lead generation firms that may sell your information to several potentially unscrupulous firms. Many of them will end up barraging you with constant phone calls that have nothing to do with the company you thought you were contacting. Make sure to clearly read and understand the privacy policy and terms of use of any firm that you call on or submit your information to. You might be wondering, can I just settle my debts by myself? If you have just a couple debts or under $10,000 in debt, you could try to talk with your creditors directly to settle the accounts yourself. However, if you owe over $10,000 in debt, have several accounts you need to settle, or need the structure and guidance of a knowledgeable professional, you should seek out the assistance of a fully accredited debt settlement firm. Debt settlement is by no means an exact science and is difficult for an individual lacking experience with creditors to determine whether a settlement is fair or not. In addition, you have to directly handle all creditors' calls and the harassment that comes with the job. Many people are simply unable or uninterested in handling that kind of pressure, especially with the daily complexities of managing a job, household, or family at the same time. Hiring a professional debt settlement firm with a good reputation can no doubt save you more money, give you better advice, and get you out of debt in a much less stressful manner, enabling you to move on with your life. Always make sure that you heavily screen who you're working with, and especially make sure that they are an audited and fully accredited organization by the major industry association TASC. That's TASC, the Association of Settlement Companies. I'm often asked, what is the difference between secured and unsecured debt? There are two primary types of debt, secured and unsecured. To understand whether the debt is secured or unsecured, ask yourself if a creditor can take away your property or any object if you suddenly become unable to make payments on the account. If tangible property or some other item is attached to the debt and can be taken away by a creditor, then that is a secured debt. If tangible property or some other item cannot be taken from you if you stop making payments, then that is considered an unsecured debt. The most common unsecured debts are credit cards. Medical bills are also considered an unsecured debt because to obtain the debt you did not have to put up an item as collateral. So unsecured debts typically have nothing attached and can usually be settled. For example, credit cards, personal loans, hospital bills and medical bills, deficiency balances, collection accounts, and some past due accounts are unsecured debts. Secured debts, on the other hand, are often big-ticket items. Mortgages and car loans are examples of secured debts. If the mortgage payment goes unpaid, then the lender can take your home as payment. If the car payment goes unpaid, then the lender can repossess your car. When you purchase a home and you're building equity, you can take out a loan against the equity. These equity loans are secured debts because they use your home as collateral. So, examples of secured debts that are not accepted in a debt settlement program are home loans, auto loans, student loans, payday loans, military accounts, public utilities, and personal loans from friends and family. Please remember that in order to qualify and enroll in a debt settlement program, you must be experiencing a financial hardship, and only unsecured debts can be included in the program. I'm often asked the question, what is TASC and how important is it that a debt settlement firm be an accredited member? TASC, or TASC, the Association of Settlement Companies, is the largest trade association serving the debt settlement industry. TASC members voluntarily agree to comply with TASC's strict industry standards. Any company you choose should be an accredited member. By being accredited, the firm has been audited on-site by an independent third-party verification organization, which verifies that the debt settlement firm adheres to the TASC best practice standards needed for accreditation. TASC's goals are to promote good business practices in the debt settlement industry, protect the interests of the consumer, and educate legislators and regulators at all levels of government with respect to issues pertaining to the debt settlement industry. The mission of TASC is to encourage debt settlement companies to provide services in accordance with the highest professional and ethical standards. Some of the standards TASC requires members to adhere to include providing specific disclosures when enrolling a consumer into a debt settlement program, form requirements for client agreements, fair marketing standards, record-keeping requirements, authorization standards in negotiations and finalizing settlements, and specific service standards. TASC understands that debt settlement companies serve a need for consumers that is not met by any other means. Other options such as credit counseling, debt management programs, or bankruptcy are either unaffordable or unavailable. Debt settlement is a necessary debt relief option for consumers, especially in this economic environment when even Fortune 500 companies are unable to meet their financial obligations. It's clear that debt settlement is a valuable service that will continue to be sought after by consumers. If you're looking to work with a reputable debt settlement company to settle your debt, make sure the company is a fully accredited member of TASC and has been audited to verify they fully comply with all of the best practice standards.